Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Evelyn Yen Ma, who will give the eulogy for Wei Xiaolan.
Hello, and welcome. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes. We're gathered here to mourn the passing of Wei Xiaolan, who passed away in May of 2019 at the age of 99. I flew over from Long Beach today, and I need to fly back at 3:45 p.m. this afternoon. But because of Julie Tang and the important cause of this event, I made the effort to do so, and I'm so glad to see such a good turnout. I first heard of the term comfort woman at a book event organized by my colleague, Dr. William Shaw, who was professor of reconstructive surgery at UCLA. The year was 1998, and Dr. Shaw had invited Iris Chang and me to discuss our books in front of a large group at his beautiful home in Westwood. Iris's book, Rape of Nanjing, and my book, Falling Leaves, had both appeared on the New York Times bestselling list that year. It so happened that all three of us, Bill, Iris, and I, belong to a Chinese-American organization called the Committee of 100. And one of our members, Dennis Wu, is actually here today. Welcome. Thank you for coming, Dennis. Subsequently, the three of us met at several times at various C100 events. She was the one who spoke to me first about the existence of comfort women during Japan's occupation of China. And Iris was passionate in her belief that the Japanese government had not done enough to compensate victims of their invasion of China and other Asian countries, such as Korea, Burma, Indonesia, and the Philippines. We talked about working together to tell the comfort women's story, but life went on, and neither of us followed up on our conversation. And then one morning in November of 2004, I opened the Los Angeles Times and saw a large and beautiful photo of Iris Chang. Wow, I thought at first, Iris has written another international bestseller. Then I read with a pang that Iris had committed suicide, shot herself to death at the young age of 36. I read later that Iris believed she was being recruited and persecuted by unimaginably powerful forces. She had a deep foreboding about her safety, became convinced she was being followed and watched, that her mail was being read, that a white van was parked outside her house, observing her every move. In Iris's powerful book, which is unforgettable, The Rape of Nanking, and I highly, highly recommend it, she tells the story of Minnie Vautrin, president of Jingling College in Nanjing, who protected thousands of Chinese girls from the Japanese soldiers between 1937 and 1940. Like Iris, Minnie Vautrin also became severely depressed. She committed suicide soon after returning to the U.S. at the age of 54. Had I 10 perfect lives, Minnie had written, I would give them all to China. Minnie, like Iris, they were both martyrs who died in the cause of the rape of Nanjing and the comfort women. So when my friend Julie Tang visited me in 2016 and told me of her work with Judge Lillian Singh and Professor Su Zhiliang on the erection of the Comfort Women Memorial Statue, I remembered my conversation with Iris and became inspired and energized. I contacted Professor Su Zhiliang in Shanghai, and with his help, I flew to Guilin in February of 2017 and visited Wei Xiaolan, her son, Luo Shanxue, and her grandson. Their story is recorded in this pamphlet. Grandma Wei was a very small woman. I'm not tall myself, but I towered over her. And when I saw her, I did not realize how intelligent and humorous she was. I asked her how old she was, and she looked at me and she said, "I'm 97, but you know something? You're not too young yourself." The rest of the story of her tragic story is recorded in the pamphlet which I wrote. I applaud Judge Julie Tang and Judge Lillian Singh for establishing the Comfort Women Justice Coalition and raising awareness of other war crimes such as the rape of Nanjing and the biological experiments of Unit 731. We must never allow this Comfort Women atrocity to be reduced to a footnote of history, treated like harmless recreational part-time for Japanese soldiers during the Second World War. All of us must unite and constantly remind the world to remember the horrors and to prevent such policies from being enacted again in the future. As the philosopher George Santayana once wrote, those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Thank you.